Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh my goodness. Ben Lobby, I am so excited to chat with you today. Good morning.
Good morning. Likewise. I feel like it's been forever since I've seen you. In fact, I know it's been forever since I've seen you.
In
So,
person, yes, it's been far
yes.
too long. And also I have to admit it's been far too long since we sat down and had a true conversation when I read the news that we are announcing today. I was just overflowing with pride and just being so excited for you because Jeff and I know how incredibly hard you work and how amazing the services that you provide your real estate business. So, what is this news, Mr. Ben Lobby?
Well, I mean, if we have to share it with the world, I guess we can. But I achieved icon status at eXp Realty, and it was announced, not too long ago. And just had my anniversary, celebrated 2 years with eXp, and finally made that milestone. Yes.
That
So,
is no small feat. So, for those who may not know, the Icon Agent Award with eXp Realty is the highest award designation that a real estate agent can earn within the company. It means that you have poured into your business an incredible amount of dedication. And I just have been so happy to see your journey. We've known each other for quite some time now. I'm older than you, but I'm starting to feel old.
yeah, it's been about 7, 8 years now. Yeah.
Yep,
So
absolutely. Well, so talk to us about 2020, Ben. Has this been your best year in real estate ever?
yeah, surprisingly, and also, I mean, with so much gratitude, I'm grateful that it has been my best year. It's definitely been a roller coaster of a year, not only for me, but I know a lot of people around the country. So, but in real estate wise, it's definitely been the best year, and a lot of that has come to or has come from consistency. And so I'm really excited that, we powered through the quarantine time in Florida, and that, my business has been growing along with those that I mentor as well. So, yeah.
Well, and that's just it, is in addition to your thriving, healthy, amazing real estate business that you have built and continue to build, you are a very great mentor to other agents, which quite frankly is indicative of what it even means to be an icon. Icons, I don't know if you know this yet, but I'll share it. Icons at eXp Realty, we have a hashtag. It's hashtag icon culture.
Oh,
Because when you earn icon, in order to earn icon, it's not just about a production metric.
mhm.
Earning icon in this company is a much bigger picture than that. There are cultural requirements, such as, are you an agent who gives back to the industry? And are you an agent who gives back to the community? You mentor agents, which means you're planting seeds and spreading your wisdom throughout the industry. How has
Mhm.
that helped you in your business?
To be honest, a lot. It's interesting because when you go back and you help someone who's starting off from scratch, it makes you as the mentor focus on the fundamentals again. So it
Yeah.
kind of reinstills, what the basics are, which is a great reminder. But also for me, it's helped me build a lot of systems. If I'm teaching something to one mentor, obviously I need to teach it to all the mentors because
Yeah.
usually they're all on the same page. So I've definitely expanded my coaching abilities, the content that I coach through, and made that system out of taking people from, zero to success, and tried to build that process so that they can do it systematically. Because me, I always focus on well, one, not repeating things, but if I do have to repeat something, I'd rather have a system that will make it much easier time and time again. So having to teach mentees and learning through their experiences has been refreshing, but also has helped me kind of get more organized within my business to help them grow too.
That's a really good point. I don't know that I've thought of it quite like that, but it's that process of, you earn a certain level of success as an individual agent. And then when you reach a point that you're going to start sharing that wisdom throughout, you are spot on. You need processes, you need systems in place because you need to be able to replicate what's in here
Mhm.
and cascade that out for others to gain and learn and bring into their business. So um, I know your mentees, and your mentees are doing very well. And I think you should be very proud of yourself for achieving your best year in real estate. We've been, as an entire globe, faced with a lot of crisis and adversity. And then among all of that, you're still giving back to the community. That requires a great deal of strength in your mindset. What are some of the tips you have about navigating the last 6 months, achieving that success, but still staying positive in your mindset?
I think staying positive in the mindset just comes from consistency,
Yeah.
consistent habits, but also having to consistently remind yourself what your why is and what you're working toward.
Mm.
You know, I think so many people, definitely in real estate, they got discouraged or they put their head in the sand during quarantine and they didn't really do anything. They didn't prepare. And I was a constant reminder, at least to my mentees and for myself, I was like, okay, yeah, we have slower times. We can't do a lot of things in public, but now is the time to double down on your business. Now is the time to do that training and education that you haven't done before. Get those certifications that you've maybe put off and never had enough time to. Really, quarantine was a great time for me personally because it was a time to work from home and just build all those structure and all those systems that I really needed to get to this next level of growth. And I think a lot of people, a lot of realtors kind of used quarantine as a crutch in a sense and just didn't really use it as an opportunity of growth. But it's understandable because maintaining a positive, consistent mindset through those times is very difficult when there's so much uncertainty. So you just have to be consistent in your habits and what you do, but also consistent in the way you think and remind yourself every day, this is why we do what we do, right? This is why I love real estate. And this is why I want to do more transactions, help more people, and help more agents grow. So
Again, you pointed out something very, very important, is that I saw what you were doing during that time. And I know you, that you're one that is doubling down. There were a lot of real estate agents, or I'm sure just many others across the globe who are in business, who let that fear in the driver's seat. And so it's important to make that distinction that you said, fear aside, I need to be in motion. I know I can double down on the items I can, which will serve me well as we progress into whatever the next phase, whatever the next chapter is. And the proof is on the wall. The proof is in the pudding. I mean, you've done such an amazing job. And again, when I saw the announcement that you earned Icon in 2020, I just was like, oh my goodness, I'm so proud to see that. I know how incredibly hard you work and what you invest into your business, your customers, your clients. This is very well deserved.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So, I just wish there was a stage to walk across.
A stage to what? Well, there is actually, there will be your Icon Award presentation at eXpCon, which is in the cloud. So you'll have a proverbial stage.
No.
It's the best we can do right now, right?
I'm okay with that.
So what would you say is one of the most important lessons you've learned this year?
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. I mean, don't stop and just always be productive. So, the most, like, the thing that probably had the biggest impact to my business this year was implementing a virtual assistant.
So talk to us about that. I was going to ask you about tactical. So how is that helping you, and what type of tasks are you able to delegate?
Oh, so much. And sometimes I get to the bottom of the list and then I just spend an hour to come up with 1,000 more things. But a lot of database organizing, data entry, and then more importantly, a lot of contract writing and document writing. It became difficult, or it's always difficult in the busy times when you're, spending a day showing around maybe one or two different buyers, and, you leave the showings with the first one and they want to write an offer, but you don't have time to sit and write the offer until you get done with the second one.
Right.
So something so simple like that, I've been able to build the process where now I can Skype my virtual assistant, in between showings and just be like, go into our CRM, find this contact, write the offer, here is the terms. And then every step that they need to do to prepare the offer and send it to the customer is written out and detailed in a system that I built. And so they can turn that around in, 30 minutes while I'm driving and doing other things. And to be honest, because they're a virtual assistant, it doesn't really matter if it takes them 2 hours. It's just not my time of having to do that, which is great. So that's definitely helped me be more efficient and growth in the admin side of everything that's been going on this year. So
delegating is important.
yes.
I've heard many experts and mentors say over the years that the moment, or maybe even a little before you think you can, hire some type of assistant role to start the process, both from a discipline of learning delegation, but also just the act of delegating, the quicker that agents realize how critical that is in their success, the quicker they become successful. And it's not an easy thing. Delegation, I still struggle with delegation, right? Because you feel like you want to handle it all. The sooner that we learn to say, you know what, I need help, which is an important phrase to be able to say, I need help, the quicker that we can all get into that team mindset, that it is a collaborative effort.
Yeah. And in reality, it's the only way to scale. I mean,
yeah,
we're talking about true growth of a business, any business outside yourself. You have to be able to delegate. And it almost reminds me to go back when we talk about mentorship and education. I think there's a saying a long time ago or something I've heard, like, if you really want to know or fully understand a topic or something, teach it, right?
Yes.
If you're able to teach it to someone, you have to fully understand it yourself. And it's almost like the same thing with building a systems or delegating. Like, if you want to grow, you have to delegate and get that out in the world, because it'll force you to build a system so that you can be more efficient and you can scale to the next level. So
important tools.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite Tom Hopkins saying too is the magic is what you learn after you know it all, right? Those who know it all continue to be a student. And so it's what you learn after you know it all that's where the real magic is at. And that's aligned with what you're sharing too, is what is so incredible as a teacher, in my opinion, is that while I'm teaching, I'm learning.
Mm-hmm.
100% of the time. I walk away with, oh, that was a golden nugget. Okay, I want to bring that together. But I truly think, though, that you and I are fortunate because we find ourselves in an incredible amount of talent that really knows authentic collaboration, which is quite a differentiator, wouldn't you say?
Oh, totally. I mean, the amount of collaboration that we have, among our group, but also eXp as a whole, is incredible. I mean, it's the first thing I share with a lot of people who might be interested in eXp is, there's just so many resources available and so many agents that just produce and showcase and push out what they've created or the system that they've modeled out, that there's really no reason to build anything from the scratch. In reality, you shouldn't. You should just pick the best ones, copy them, and make them yours.
Well, actually, just the other day, you and I were on a call, and I said, well, I'm testing out this new tool. Remember, and I said, I'm testing it out. And you said, I would be interested in that. And I said, okay, well, hold on, give me about a month. Let me be your guinea pig, because I'm already in it. Right. And so then I'll keep you posted on the progress. And the beauty of that type of collaboration, which I've been the recipient of that as well, it's all about cascading it out, as I've wanted to bring on a new tool or try a new resource. And we have so many amazing eXp Realty agents who are willing to say, tried it, it worked, tried it, here's the challenges I've experienced, or tried it, no, that's a trap. Yeah, stay away. So it gives us that ability to really be able to dial into what should we be investing in, both from a monetary aspect, but also with our time, which again is so important.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about, you talked a little about some tactical advice with you're now delegating to a VA. What other piece of tactical advice do you think you've picked up on that's changed in your business over the last year?
My listing process has changed a lot. the process it from setting the listing appointment to getting all the information and detailing it out. That it's gotten a lot more organized, a lot more professional, I think. And I think a lot of new agents just they don't necessarily have like that listing presentation down or that process down. So that's been impactful for getting new business and handling sellers with much more confidence and outlining it that way too. So
with your listing process, are you referencing before you go into the listing appointment?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So share. All right. I'm digging in. I'm going deeper. What's one thing you're doing differently? I'll share one too.
So
we made a change there too.
Yeah. So we're doing, I don't know, this idea might have come from you guys, but sending a pre-listing packet over. And
that did.
I mean, ever since I started doing that, it's shortened down the listing appointment by like an hour because you will schedule the listing appointment. I'll send like the guide the guide to sell your house, which talks about selling the house, my listing process, about me, reviews, and then I send them, link to my Zillow review page or my Zillow profile. And then once I walk into the house for the listing appointment, first question or second question after, pleasantries is, did you have a chance to review the pre-listing packet? They say yes. Do you have any questions? No? Okay, great. Then now we're immediately talking about pricing in their house and what updates they may or may not need to do and strategy to sell it. So it's definitely made it more efficient. I did the same thing on the buying side. And one thing that, I was kind of grateful for quarantine was it forced people to understand how to use Zoom. So now all of my buyer consults are Zoom, and every buyer has a buyer consult. It doesn't matter who. Most of the people that we deal with are first or second, time buyers, and so they still don't know the process. But even someone who bought 5 years ago doesn't know the process today. So it's usually a 30 to 45 minute consult, and I go through a buyer consult presentation about every step of the transaction process, and I do that up front because it kind of alleviates that emotional roller coaster that the buyers are about to go through. It removes them from feeling like they're getting just sideswiped by steps in the process. It gives them confidence in me as an agent serving them. And then at the end of it, we discuss their criteria, we set up a search, and then we schedule a date to go and tour houses. So, it happens it's very, very laid out and very organized. And, every time I've done it, I think, the buyer has been like, this is very organized and great presentation. And, it calms their nerves so much that they get much more excited about, taking that step forward because it removes the fear that they may have if they haven't purchased a home before.
I am so incredibly proud of you. I mean, Ben, I just, for those watching, Ben is 110% spot on. I love that you made that adjustment in your business service. We've talked a lot over the last 6 months about making a similar pivot, and that was starting to provide services to the buyers that in many ways would mirror the services we provided to our sellers. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't something we had previously thought about because I think if I look back, maybe we were apprehensive about engagement or the adoption to say to a buyer, yes, our buyer consult is a video conference. And yes, we can do some of your showings in a video conference. And around mid-March, when we started making pivots in our business on how to best serve our customers, those are some of the first things we put into place. Is we had buyers who were feeling tension and apprehension, and I don't know how I can go look at homes safely, and what does that look like? And we went right into action like you did to say, we have a plan. We can offer video showings right up front. And so what that was doing is that was narrowing down the number of houses that they even would need to physically see, because many listings do not offer 360s and do not offer videos. Many listings might only have still photography, and still photography is necessary, but it doesn't show every corner of the home. So we started that service, and then the buyer said, Oh, it was like a deep breath of, oh, you can do this for me. Now what we've done, just like you, Ben, is you are addressing what could have later been an objection proactively. So now it's prepared customer as opposed to, oh my goodness, what's next?
Yeah, exactly. And you know that, and if you explain everything up front, it just helps them, well, one, through that process, but it also helps you qualify buyers a lot
Yeah.
better. You know, that way you're not just showing up to a house with a buyer who you've never met before, potentially wasting your time. You know, it lets you really dive deep in their sense of urgency and their why,
Yeah.
especially with, you know, first-time buyers. A lot of first-time buyers don't necessarily know what they want yet.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of talk them through, advise them on, you know, what's out the product types are, and even show them, you know, it's helped in this market when we'll pull up the MLS and we'll set up the search together. So they'll see
Yeah.
the boundaries of where I'm setting their search, and then they'll see the results. So, you know, that way they aren't like thinking I'm leaving out listings. No, there's only 25 listings that match your criteria, right? These are
I'm writing notes. That is brilliant. See, that's a brilliant strategy.
yeah, because
So
you know,
you're setting up the search while you're on the video conference so they can
oh,
see,
yes,
because then they can see the inventory fluctuations. I hadn't thought of it that way. When we're
yeah,
coaching the agents on our team, we talk about verbally letting them know, okay, Mr. Buyer, if you're looking for a $300,000 home within this given criteria, right now that inventory is showing there's 27 homes. If we make one tweak, and here's the tweak, we might unlock an extra 20 homes on the market. I love you giving the
yeah,
visual though.
yeah. No, the visual definitely helps because, you know, not only do we need to know what their criteria is, but we need to know the priority of their criteria,
Yeah.
right? You know, if there's only 10 results or 20 results and they all need to be fixer uppers and the buyer won't do any TLC, I need to know what they're going to give on, right? Is
Yeah.
it the lot size or the, you know, the garage or something like that? So, yeah, it works
That's
really.
important. That's really important. And, you know, one of our core values at eXp Realty is agile. And I would say that in everything you're doing, you are just really focused on being agile, which
Mhm.
again is another reason why when we asked Ben Lobby, is 2020 your best year in real estate? You can answer the yes, it
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
because you were agile, you were present, you showed up even at times that it was scary, and you're giving back to the
Mhm.
industry. That's what we call an icon, Ben Lobby.
Well, it's been a few years in the making, and I'm super happy to make it. So,
So, what does being an icon mean to you?
well, it definitely was. I mean, joining EXP, it definitely was like, you know, a milestone. You know, it was an award that I put on a pedestal that I was always striving for, and it yeah. Thanks, Tannen.
Hey, Tannen.
Um, so it, you know, it just means like, you know, to me it's a symbol of experience and a willingness to help others, um, and you know it's obviously a symbol of success, but I think the collaboration and the giving back, and the icon culture is just as important as, you know, the volume that you do. You know, I don't know the stat now, but I think aren't icon agents like the top 1% or less at EXP?
It flirts around that 1%. I've heard at times it's a little less than one. I think you know, it's typically going to be that 1%. Listen, it's an incredibly small number of people who have achieved it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely what you should pat yourself on the back for. And I want, you know, for those watching, I really like to make the distinction is there are times in our business and at work where we are bestowed an award, and you know, perhaps it's, and you actually got an award, but we didn't bring it out today. But anyway, yes, you actually got an award. And this is so much more than an award. This is the assessment of who you are in giving back. And
Mm-hmm.
I love that eXp put focus both on a production metric, of course, that's important, but the real equation, the bigger part, is that you give back to your fellow agents, you give back in your community, and that is very heavily weighted in this decision. What I've learned over time, though, is in order to achieve, you have to give back, right? You have to find what speaks to you, what is authentically inside of you that you have a passion to share. And the more you share, well, then that abundance comes back, which is proof in what you're doing.
Well, it's also just, I mean, to me personally, it's much more emotionally gratifying. You know, I wasn't always one to be like, you know, the top 1% of, you know, the statuses, or, you know, top 1% of, you know, Orlando Real Producers or anything like that. It wasn't really a goal to do that, but the goal of giving back, I think, is just more emotionally gratifying to me. And that's why this award actually means more to me than other awards I've gotten, because it's not just, like we've said, it's not just based on, you know, production. There's a character trait that you actually kind of have to become icon. And it's more focused on that than, you know, just selling hundreds of homes, or how many do we sell?
Well, I know it's a lot, because
it's a lot.
Which is probably why I haven't seen you very much or really talked to you as much as I would like, because there was a lot of myths where I'm like, okay, he's busy. And then the next thing I know, I said, holy bejeebers. Yep. Okay. Ben earned icon. Yes.
Yeah. July was nuts.
So one other thing I think we should point out, because eXp Realty, of course, brought it up a notch, is from a compensation standpoint, it's certainly a lot more than an award.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What do you receive, Mr. Ben Lobby?
You want me to go in depth?
So I'd like you to share whatever you'd like to share. I know. I'd have to say I'm quite proud of earning icon, and I like that, you know, little gravy inside.
Yeah. So essentially, I mean, the brokerage pays us to become icons, which is cool. But how that works is, you know, at eXp, we're at an 80-20 split with a $16,000 cap. So that $16,000 we pay into the company. Once you become icon, the company awards that back to you as stock, which is, I mean, fantastic. I mean, it just, it's the icing on the cake in reality. And, you know, a portion of that is given at eXpCon, a portion is given at, you know, the shareholder summit, but essentially having worked all year and getting that as an investment into our company as a stock award, I mean, is amazing, especially with the growth of our company and, you know, the growth of the stock. You know, that part's definitely life-changing as well. So
when you hear agents talk with eXp about life-changing opportunity, it's that right there is yet another example. We've been so incredibly blessed to be a part of the organization. You just had your 2-year. Jeff and I just had our 3-year, just passed over. And, you know, when you wake up and realize that a company will reward you for what you were already doing, which I was doing before, but, you know, maybe you got like a trophy or a plaque, and that's beautiful. Yeah. But this is literally them saying, hey, you know, thank you for all of the ways that you give back. We're going to give you your entire $16,000 back in the form of company stock. It is life-changing. It really is. So I'm happy for you. I couldn't be more proud. Jeff and I have just seen you really grow and flourish over the years. And let's say you've been a part of our journey. I mean, you were back in the day of realtyinorlando.com.
Yeah,
I mean, you've been, right? The OG. You've been a very important person in our life, and thank you for everything that you do.
Well, I want to thank you guys because, I mean, I don't think, well, one, I would not have known about eXp if Jeff didn't reach out and bug me for probably about 6 months.
He was nudging you, Ben, nudging, not Ben. Yeah.
That's true. Nudging me. But, you know, I'm grateful for that because, you know, without you two leading by example, I mean, I've learned so much of what I do today from you two and how you operate yourselves and the team, your team. And, it's always inspiring to anytime I talk to you guys, I'm like, oh crap, there's so much more I need to do. But you lead by example. And I think that's an attribute of not only the icons at eXp, but amazing individuals like Jeff and Renee Funk. So I appreciate you.
We love you, love you, love you. And I have to say, I have goosebumps hearing you say that. And it's very kind. It puts me in mind of a mentor that I have that has given back in so many ways. And a few years ago, I called up and again, I was saying, how will I ever even repay you? You've been so kind in what you've coached and guided us through. And he said, Renee, you are repaying me. You continue to give back to others in the industry and in your community. And it is a full circle moment to hear you say that to me, because Ben, what I'm going to share with you is you are doing it. You continue to give back in your industry and in the community. And that is what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Yes. So love being in business with you. You are awesome. Let everybody know where they can find you, Ben.
Yes, you guys can find me at benlobbyhomes.com or my email address, ben@benlobbyre.com, or anywhere on Facebook. Just search Ben Lobby.
And you promised me that your lives are coming back.
Yes. Five
you
videos.
Notice how I did that?
5 videos next week. Maybe not all of them live, but how about 5 videos?
Can I come on your show?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay. See, I put you on the spot on video. That means it has to happen because now I'm holding you accountable. Ben's show's coming back live on Facebook and he will invite me to be on the show.
I just need to up my studio game like yours.
Why don't you come in and we'll do it together in the studio?
That works. We can do that.
All right, cool.
So.
Happy Friday, Ben Lobby.
Happy Friday, Renee. Happy Friday, everyone.
Right.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for watching all. Have a great day. Bye.